strap in for this one because I got a lot to say. So, my last video on housing, which is this one, and don't worry if you haven't seen it, I'll link it in the description. A lot of people could relate to it, and it was great because it gave me a lot of insight as to actually what's happening. I did say on the video that I don't own my house, I'm not in the housing market, so it was really nice to actually get some clarification from you guys about what's happening due to the stamp duty and the new laws that are coming in for the landlords, which is why we might be seeing all of these for sale signs going up. Also, quick disclaimer, no, I'm not looking into the camera because my laptop's broke. It's being collected for repairs today, and this is the only way that I can record. I'm sorry. So, let me give you a bit of context. I grew up in Surrey, which is southwest of London, and at 19, I moved out and moved to North London. I lived all around North London until around 2010, 2011, I can't quite remember, where I was brought down to Suffolk, which is the countryside. So I'd very much lived my life in the city, no greenery, no nothing, and then got pretty much brought down to, I'm not even like literally, my life has been written, it must have been. So I came down to Suffolk and here I am 12, 13 years later. But there's things that I've noticed and now it's time to talk about them. As a kid, you know, I moved out at 19, so I didn't really know much about housing or anything like that. I've, you know, always rented in my life and it wasn't really an issue. So when I came down to Suffolk, it was very, very different because there was a lot more greenery, there was a lot more nature, there was a lot more options as to where you could rent, right? So you have nice areas and you have not so nice areas, which is like everywhere, but there were just little gems, right? There were these tiny little village gems that you could get a 2-bedroom house for £600 a month, and it had a lovely garden and they were just beautiful, and I thought, oh, bloody hell, why haven't I moved down here quicker? So the difference in the housing was very different, but what I also recognised was that there was a lot of farmland, a lot of fields, a lot of greenery, right? Because you would expect that from a countryside. And it was really nice, you know. I had my dog, he's 15 years old, so obviously he was a puppy when I was in London and I brought him down from London. So it was really nice to be like, oh, Marley, look at this, you know, we've got woodlands and all of that. And it was absolutely brilliant to see. But why am I seeing more and more housing estates, housing developments going up in big field green farm areas? This is meant to be the countryside. And I've noticed over the last year, I don't know where you are and whether it's the same for you, but I've kept a mental note of this. Over the last year, we have had so many housing developments go up in these little villages. And that's, you know, Taylor Wimpey. That's Ballore Homes, and all of these housing developments that have quite literally taken over the greenery in the countryside. I'm not against housing. We need housing. But the sheer volume that these developments are going up and the rate, okay? So I noticed that once there was this big land of green that I used to drive past, you know, quite often. And then all of a sudden, there was a sign that was like, oh, we're building houses now, 2 and 3 bedroom houses, inquire now. And, you know, they do that thing where they'll build the showroom first and people can go in and start looking at the plans of what the houses are and they can start getting the money really quick before the houses are even built. That. I noticed that happening. And then I noticed happening again. And these developments, I shit you not, are going up in 6 months. 6 months from pretty much building to an entire like little estate thing with 2 and 3 bedroom houses, maybe even 1 4-bedroom, I don't know. 6 months they're going up. They're not built right. They're not built right. And I'll tell you why they're not built right, or, you know, how I know they're not built right. I've got a friend who bought a house in, oh God, I was in my old rented house that was in 2016, around that sort of time. He bought his house around 2016, and it is a 3-bedroom, brand new Taylor Wimpey development that they had going back in 2016. So he went there, he designed it all, and you know, it was really nice for him to be like, I want this, 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 and this, and he had it all designed and everything like that. Well, he moved in. Within 6 months, he started noticing the house and little bits and pieces not being built quite right. Within 2 years, his neighbour's stairs had fucking gone away from the wall. Within 2 years. Within 4 years, many people had already left that estate and you could start seeing the houses going up for sale or rent. He's still there. But he has noticed that that house was not built in the same quality that my old rented farmhouse that I was living in at the time. And we're talking exposed beams, you know, proper old house that was built properly, not bought. I'm a strong believer of built, not bought, and that goes for my cars as well. I personally don't own a car right now. I'm just insured on my friend's car. I don't own a car. I have a car that is an investment, but we're going off topic, and I do plan to sell it this year, actually. So if you're interested, it's a Toyota Starlet GT Turbo. I've had it since 2012, and it's time to sell that investment because that's exactly what it was. So if you're interested, stick along for the journey. But these houses are going up in 6 months, and are not fit. Do you know they come with a warranty? Do you know his house came with a 5-year warranty? Why are houses coming with a warranty? I'm sorry. Why is that? Did old houses come with a warranty? Like, I don't know this, obviously. Were old houses, when they were built, did they come with a warranty? Because I don't think so, but I may be wrong, so please let me know in the comments. I'm sick and tired of seeing the countryside. I've been here for 10, 12, 13 years. God bless those people that have lived here all their life, and they're starting to see the development of their fields and their countryside going to shit, pretty much. Because now when they look out their window, they're seeing an estate or a flat or whatever, and they're not seeing that green. They can't take their dog out for a walk anymore. I understand people need housing, right? I get that. And how else are we going to get housing if we don't build it? Like, I get that, right? That's not the point. The point of the video is how quick are they going up and how much farmland are they taking? Is there no other land that they can build on? Like, this is a genuine question, right? I come to you with curiosity. I'm not trying to do anything other than just try and learn about what's happening here. And there are some very wise people that have been commenting on my videos that I have been reading. I may not reply to every single one of you because there's so much, but I read them all. I sit there every night and I take 2 hours out of my time to just read all the comments and just soak in what you're saying. And so I wanted to bring this to you because I knew this was happening, right, back in the day, and I'll tell you why. As I said, I used to rent an old farmhouse, and I'm going to get more into stories with that and ghost stories because there was so much that happened in that house, and I've never had anything happen to me since or before, so it was just that house. Anyway, that was owned by 2 farmers, okay? Landlady, landlord. Now, we were kind of close with them. Not really, but because we were tight-knitted community of just like farmers, they would tell us stuff. And one of the things they told us is where we were, right? So I kind of got to give you a plan. So our house is here, right? But the house used to be one house, right? And it was split into 2, like years back, I don't know. And it's like a mirror image of each other, right? So this used to be one cottage. It's now split into 2. So at the back garden, our back garden was split into 2. But on our side, we had a bit that went round into like a woodland. And then on the neighbour's side, she had a bit that went into this field. Okay, big old field, just nothing but field. So the landlords told us one day that that field is going to get turned into, and I can't remember what it was called, but it was like a nature pond thing. And you guys might be able to let me know. But basically, they told us that the council came to them and was pretty much forcing them to make that land into a pond, like a big old reservoir, right? Big old water reservoir for the nature. So I'm all for nature, you know? I love ducks. I love nature. I've got a dog. I must love animals, right? But I'm also like, why are they forcing them to give up their land? Can't they do it elsewhere? Why are they targeting farmers for their land? I understand they're probably paying a lot of money for it, but like they tried to not do this as well. They told us quite blankly, they were like, we don't want to do it, but they're forcing us. So are the farmers being forced to give up their land for housing development now and not just pond reservoirs? Like, what is happening? Because you know the whole saying, no farmers, no food? Well, no farm, no farmers. So why are they going after the farmers? Why is there not... I genuinely don't understand it. I don't understand it, and it saddens me. It saddens me that I've come down to the countryside, which I had no idea about. I absolutely love it now. You'd never catch me going back to London, ever. But now I'm starting to see the fucking upbuilt of London round here. There's been one built like up the road. Now there's another one. Wait, there's three. Sorry, there's fucking three in this little like... I'm in a village... But just outside the village, there's like other villages. Do you know what I mean? So it's not that big. Let's say, I don't know, a 12-mile radius? 12, 15-mile radius, maybe at the most. And there are 3 housing developments that have gone up that used to be just green farmland, just grass. Where are all the sheep gone? Where are all the animals? I don't understand, and it just, again, saddens me to see that the countryside is now starting to not be the countryside. Because, like I said, I would not go back to London now. Having experienced this more relaxed, slow-paced life that the countryside offers, I wouldn't want to go back to London, but there are similarities that I'm seeing now being brought from London down into Suffolk. God knows where else. The amount of people that I hear that have moved from London to Essex, Norfolk, Suffolk, Cambridge, all around the East Anglia area, because they wanted a better life than London, or they work in London and they live down here. There's a lot of people that do that too. Personally, I could never do the commute, but there are a lot of people that do that. One, to save money, because obviously London house prices are through the roof. I mean, they've always been through the roof, but come on. And then obviously down here, you're getting a lot more value for your money, but then you've got the petrol that you have to, you know, factor in and all these other nuances that then come with it. Oh, I don't know. If you're not even safe in the countryside anymore to get away, then what are we going to do? What are we going to do when everywhere we turn, every part of green that we ever had is just a housing estate? And again, I know we need housing, so like, what's the other option to this, right? I'm kind of asking that as well. Like, what is the option? What is the other option to this? If we don't take farmland, how else can do we demolish stuff like that, right? I've just literally thought of it myself. Oh my God, why are we not demolishing abandoned buildings and then building like houses on top of that? Are we doing that? Are we doing that? I don't know. That's just popped into my head. There are so many abandoned buildings that people go out. It's all on fucking YouTube. People go out to abandoned buildings and go and fucking ghost hunt everywhere. Why are they not being demolished and made into houses? I don't get it. Does anyone get it? Can you help me? I don't understand. Help me understand.